In this video, I'm going to briefly show you how to create an inbound order in the new warehouse management system through uploading an Excel file. So this is the Excel template that we have, and this is the one that you're going to need to fill out and then upload into the system. There's a couple things that are important. All of the blue columns need to be filled out before you upload it. And then the orange ones are settings, and you can actually set these when you map the file, when you upload it, but they should also be filled out. I'll show you more of that later. The two really important things are the PO number, the order date, which is today, the SKU that you want to ship into RiverSource, how many units, remember this is always in units, not in cases, and then the date that you think it's going to arrive on. This can be estimated, but as close to the arrival date, the better. The PO number, since this is not auto-generated in the system when you upload, you're going to need to fill this in with numbers that make sense to you. The really important part to keep is POB. So all of your PO numbers for inbound orders that you bulk upload needs to be POB, and then you can do whatever digits make sense to you. Try to keep it as similar to the normal POs as possible. And then so the sheet is 1 row per item. So for this specific order, I have filled out 3 rows, and I have 3 different SKUs that I'm sending in. So if you want to make this really easy for yourself, you can just copy and make it like copy and paste down and then just change the SKU. And this leads me into the second most important part. The SKUs have to match exactly what the SKU is in the system. So let's look at the SKUs. So here I am in the system. I'm looking at the item table. And on the item table, I can see the SKU for all of my products. So these are the actual SKUs. And if I open these, I can just copy this over. And these need to match exactly. If it doesn't match, the upload will fail. So be sure to have the correct SKU on the file. And it's supposed to be the SKU, it's not supposed to be the UPC or the vendor SKU. It has to be like the main SKU. So be sure to copy that over. And like I said, 1 row is per item. If you need any specific services, this also needs to go all the way down. So if you need product labeling, for instance, and you only need 300 product labels, you still need to input it in all rows, just because that field is an order field. It's not specific to that item. It's just saying on this entire order, I'm going to need 300. And it won't add these up. It just needs it to be identical for the upload to work. If you have any additional information that you want to add, again, you need to just copy it down so it's the same in all of the columns. So once this sheet looks good and you're ready to upload it, you need to delete this first column right here. So once I filled it out, it looks good. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it, the PO, just for my own record, so I know that this was a PO that I was working on. And then now I have this, I'm going to go to the system. And I know beforehand when you were using the flat files, you would just create 1 SKU and then attach the file, but that's not going to be the case anymore. From now on forward, you're going to be responsible for making sure that all of the items that are arriving on your inbound orders are on the ASN. So you already know how to create them by clicking this Create New. So we're not going to create just 1 item and then attach this file. I'm going to show you how the bulk upload really works. So once you're on the ASN table, instead of clicking Create New, we're going to click this Action, and then we're going to click Bulk Load. So you're going to get to this page where it's asking you for your line of business. So if you have access to multiple lines of businesses, make sure you select the correct one. I'm going to select my test account right here, and then I'm going to click next. And then it's going to ask you for your file. So I'm going to upload my order that I just completed, and then I'm going to click next. And so now it's asking me to map the fields. So when you were creating ASINs in the system, you had to fill in these exact same fields. So the system is just saying, hey, these are the fields that are required for all the ASINs. Where on this Excel file will we find the same information? So the PO number is the PO number column. So if you do column from file, it's going to automatically fill in the column if it's identical, and if it's not identical, you're going to have to click the drop down and map it. So it found PO number here by itself. It found vendor, so we don't need to do that one. It found the warehouse, so that's great as well. And then it didn't find order date because I didn't fill in order date. So what I can do here instead, I can use default value, and this only works for the date. It doesn't work for any of the other ones. I'm going to do November 9th because that's today. It's November 10th. Type you can leave as normal. And if you didn't fill this out on the Excel sheet, you could click default value and it will show you the different types that the system allows you to select. And then the SKU, this needs to be mapped. So we're mapping this column right here. And you can also preview the values. So I can see that it mapped the right column. So this is the actual data that's in those columns. And then order quantity, it mapped itself. Again, column from file. The due date, it mapped, but I believe that it's not empty. Perfect. And then distribution date, as mentioned in the old ASN video, distribution date is the date that the inventory is available. So if you want us to receive your inventory, but you don't want it to be available for outbound orders immediately, you can set this date for a future date. But if you want it available as soon as it arrives and it's stowed, you can just click today and that's fine. Max over, max under, you can do use account default because this is set already on your account, so you can just use that. And then if you did use any of the service fields, like I here used product labeling, if you used additional services too and it didn't map it down here, you can click this button, add optional field, and then you can search for the folder or for the you can search for the field in the system, and then you add that field and then you map it to the corresponding column in the Excel sheet. So these are the fields and then these are the columns. So I just mapped these two. And then you want to make sure that you double check that this looks good. And so once you've done this once, you can actually save this mapping, and that way you don't have to redo it every single time. So I'm going to click next now. So I didn't get any errors, and that's great. So it's going to create this PO for me. But before I submit this, up here it says click here to save this configuration as a new user bulk load profile. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to save this creating new bulk ASN. So I just saved the mapping that we did. And when you save a mapping, you should be sure that you always use the exact same file. So the file needs to look the same for that mapping profile to work the next time. If you save a mapping but then use a completely different layout on the Excel file, the mapping will be off. So I'm always going to be using this template when I create my ASINs. So I save that mapping. Now I'm going to submit this. And then I'll show you how the next time around you can use that mapping. So we just created this PO. It's right here. The last step that you need to do is you need to open it and you need to attach your file. So recall that you need to upload your packing list to all your inbound orders. So please don't forget that step. You just open it, click add files, and then you attach your file. Okay, so this order is now completed, and now I just want to show you quick how you would use that profile. So I'm just going to start this over. I'm going to select my LLB again. I'm going to upload the file. Now you should use a different file every time. If you've already used the PO, it won't let you do it again, but this is just for demonstration. So I'm going to click this right here, Saved Profiles, and you can see that the save that I just did is down here. So when I click this, and notice these fields are not completely mapped, I'm going to do create. So I'm clicking that now. So now it mapped all the fields and all the settings that I used. But here's one thing to keep in mind. If you map the dates, it will always backtrack to that date. So even if you use the save profile, you need to edit the dates. If you forget to edit the dates during the actual upload, you can edit them later. That's fine. So this is how that profile mapping works. So this makes that process a little quicker. You just upload the file, click the profile, it does the mapping for you, and then you click next. If you, for some reason, forgot to change the dates or something with the upload was wrong, so say that I forgot something on this PO, I can edit this afterwards. As long as it's still in an open status, meaning we haven't received it, you can click edit, and you can change, for instance, the order date, or you can change the order quantity or when it's supposed to arrive. I mean, it can't arrive in July, so we're going to need to change this to maybe November 19th. So it's okay if something goes wrong in terms of these dates, because you can always edit the order and then save it. But again, don't forget to attach your packing list. It's really important and it helps us on receiving. Okay, that was a really quick video just on how to upload. If you have any questions, you can always email us at orders@riversourcelogistics.com. And if you want any more videos, or if there's anything in the system that doesn't make sense, please let us know and I'll try to create some more content. All right, thank you.